Today on Dr. Phil, mail order brides.
I don't pick one out of a catalog and she shows up at my door.
It's a legal form of kidnapping.
They marry foreign women.
The women want to come to the U.S. and they're willing to do just about anything to get here.
But are they just lonely men getting scammed?
My dad is attracting these women who are gold diggers.
I've spent over $50,000.
As soon as I posted a picture of my fiance, everybody thinking, yeah, like she's gonna be with him.
No offense, but you look like my former wife.
Or are they abusing their mail order brides?
David treat me like the slave. I don't like take order.
Some women think these men are looking for a servant, not a wife.
So you think that I'm just an evil person?
You can be very overbearing.
I don't want you to tell me, David, don't be controlling, don't treat her like a slave. Tell me something that really can help. Come on.
I will as soon as you stop talking. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it. Beautiful women, champagne socials, traveling abroad, the international matchmaking industry, better known as mail order bride business, is booming. This is a $2 billion a year industry that has doubled in the last decade as many men travel to the ends of the earth to meet Mrs. Right. Now, there are some 61 sites that are advertising mail order brides. But is this money buying love, and can you do that? Well, David says yes. He was tired of the materialistic, spoiled, and unfaithful women that he says are found right here in the United States. So he turned his search overseas, where he met his wife, Meg.
I'm a two-time loser because both wives left me. But guess what? They were American. In America, today's women, they don't want to stay in shape, but they want the big diamond, they want the expensive car, they want the great house. There's no women to meet. I have to go to bars or a church scene, and the women that I did meet that were American just didn't pan out. However, Eastern European women are not raised like that.
Well, David says his wife, Meg, has all the qualities that he was looking for. He says she's sincere, that she's faithful, she's genuine, and she even cleans the house. But Meg says her new American husband treats her like a slave.
When I met Meg, I thought this girl really had potential, and I was willing to roll the dice and travel 7,000 miles to meet her.
I meet first time to the airport, and he look at me and ask me, "You like me?" And he hugged me, you know, he's very strong, and I say, "Yes, but you like me?"
I saw that she had the qualities that I was looking for in a woman. I snapped her up. Meg and I have been married about 2 years. I'm very satisfied with my marriage with Meg.
David treat me like somebody like he hired. I don't know if you say the right word, it's the slave.
Eastern European women love to keep their house clean. I love a clean house.
All the time he must be have clean and make the right food and take care of the baby. And I say, don't forget, I'm your wife.
We have conflict. Meg is not willing to address the communication barrier. Meg will tell me, go get that from underneath. Who in the world would have any idea what she means? She thinks I can look at her ass and read her mind. It's not going to happen.
I don't like David how he speak with me. Sometimes he speak like a boss and very loud.
That's a problem I have. You know, I speak too loudly.
And they say, you listen to me what I told you, because if you don't listen to me, I told you, I leave.
She's not going to completely flip out and get rid of me. I just can't see it happening.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, so believe me, Dr. Phil, it's not going to happen. These problems are relatively small. I think you can solve it for us. I really do. I respect you. Go ahead. Come on. You're the boss.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. You brought her out here in an interesting way.
Okay.
Let's take a look. There's no sound to this, but you brought her out here, carried her like across the threshold here.
That's
right. Some people might say it's sort of like property, but you said, where should I put her?
That's right.
Yeah. So y'all have been together how long?
About 2 years.
Almost
About
2
years?
Almost 2 years.
Now, you met at the airport. Did you know right then that she was the one for you?
I knew before that, Dr. Phil. I just wanted to confirm it.
From emails and phone conversations?
Remember video conferencing on Yahoo.
Yeah.
And we were able to see each other and speak to each other.
Right.
For long periods of time.
Did you like him when you were talking to him on the Yahoo and all? And when you met him at the airport, what was your attitude?
Yes, I like him when I speak on the Yahoo, and we speak a lot in the phone too. And when I meet to the airport, it was, you know, wow. I say, oh my God, it's not what I expect because was so friendly.
You threatened to leave him and go back to Romania, right?
I don't like when somebody ordering too much and be a boss because I don't like take ordering.
Yeah. Are you too bossy?
I am. It's something that I need your help with.
You say you refuse to date American women because you made a list. They don't see marriage and having children as a lone satisfaction, right?
Correct.
You said they're unfaithful and cheaters.
They are.
That they're not motivated.
They're not.
To be faithful, dedicated, honest, and unspoiled. They have no idea what commitment means. They're spoiled. No amount of money can satisfy them. They think a broken fingernail is a crisis. They want the most expensive, newest, shiniest article they can have, and price should not be a problem, and they're compelled to get better than what they have, whether it's a new car, a bigger ring, whatever. That they think that reflects the amount of love, what they get. And you said they're not healthy, don't eat right and exercise. They look for an excuse to whine or complain.
You hit the nail on the head, Dr. Phil.
No. That's what...
No, you said it. Well, actually, I said it.
But isn't that casting all women in a pretty broad net of stereotypic traits and characteristics that you're assigning them?
Yes, but I'll tell you why. For 59 years, I tried my darndest to meet a woman that would be sincere. And I didn't go anywhere else. I didn't travel anywhere, so I stayed here in the USA.
Right.
Well, my experience tells me that they're not. I mean, I got married twice, got divorced twice. I've dated hundreds of women, and she knows that, and Meg knows that. And I've never met one that was.
Did you contribute to those failed marriages?
Absolutely.
What was it that got in your way about your characteristics?
I was too nice a guy, Dr. Phil.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of
it's the old fishing story. You know, you throw the bait out there and you got to reel them back in and you got to keep the marriage alive. And if you're a really nice guy and you're a really devoted husband and you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't cheat, the woman says, hey, man, I got a puppy dog here. I can do anything I want.
You don't strike me as the puppy dog type. You strike me as being very outgoing, very outspoken, and I wonder if you were a bit overbearing in those marriages.
Of course I was.
I just am curious if you're doing the same thing with her, because she says you're bossy, to the point that she's threatened to leave you and go back to Romania.
Yes, that's true.
So are you doing the same thing in number 3 that you did in numbers 1 and 2?
I am, but I'm trying to learn from my failed marriages, from those experiences. I'm trying to be less controlling. I'm trying to be less domineering. And I think it's working. I mean, the biggest problem is this language communication to enable me to communicate to Meg without being domineering. Mm-hmm. So you tell me, how does a guy do that?
Well, here's what she said. She says that she threatened to return to Romania because you were telling her to wash the dishes, refill her own prescription, and she said you got on your knees and begged her to stay.
That's true.
She said that she blows up at you sometimes, and that she slapped and punched you in the arm when you told her to answer the phone at work on the first ring. You make her stay home to clean, cook, and take care of the baby. That makes her angry. She says she needs help, and you won't give it to her.
Well, right now, I really cannot afford to give it to her, but I've promised to give it to her in the future.
You say that he treats you like a slave.
Sometimes. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I feel like this, but I can tell you it's like this, I feel. Yeah. Sometimes.
And by slave, I think...
Slave is, you know, many things. Cooking, cleaning, you know, and I have a baby, and he's 3 months old. And, of course, I need me to a little, rest and go out a little alone. But, no, I cannot do nothing. I understand.
am controlling, Dr. Phil, no doubt.
When somebody comes to a strange land with a strange language, strange cultures, it just seems like you would just really want to bend over backwards to be sure that you were empathetic and sensitive. And when she says, well, I feel like a slave, like he's my boss, I wonder if that's something that you need to think about. We got to take a break. Some women think these men are looking for a servant, not a wife. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Mail order brides are a legal form of kidnapping.
It's worse than prostitution because it's like you're hiring a slave.
These men are misogynists.
They are meeting women thinking that they could just buy them, that women are commodities.
They're looking for a submissive woman, guaranteed.
And later,
I live in Southern California, and the women here, and I'm sorry, it's the truth, they're phony. Phony boobs, phony nails, phony they got Botox.
Meg wants a car. She wants a red BMW convertible. I mean, she wants it bad, but she's willing to wait. She's not going to dump me to go with the next guy that comes along that's got a bigger wallet. American women aren't willing to pay their dues like that. They want it now.
what were you telling her at the break?
We are getting better, and we are working on it. But we came on the show to ask you, what can I do, aside from the obvious, to communicate better with Meg and to not be so controlling, except I don't want you to tell me, David, don't be controlling, don't treat her like a slave. Tell me some psychological barriers that I'm infringing on, or tell me some voodoo magic, or tell me something that really can help. Come on.
Will, as soon as you stop talking.
See, I'm digging that hole, aren't I?
Yeah. How about you let me worry about what I'm going to say, and you worry about what you're going to say.
All right.
But I found it interesting that you felt the need at the break to tell her, we're doing better, and what we came here for. Why did you feel the need to tell her what you expected here? I've had over 12,000 guests on this show, and I bet you I haven't had 10 or 20 who felt the need to tell their wife how things were going and what they wanted them to say during the break. That would put you in like the top 1/10 of 1% of people who tried to control what their partner was saying while they were here.
Well, seriously, Dr. Phil, we get along famously. But you know what? If you don't believe me, she can tell the truth. Tell the truth. Are we getting along or not?
No, she has told the truth. She said that you have continued to be very nice, that you were very nice, outgoing, friendly when she met you at the airport, that you have continued to be that way most of the time.
Oh.
She also has said that you sometimes treat her like a slave and that she's threatened to leave you when you get too bossy and controlling. Rachel says that men that go overseas for a wife, she worries that they're just looking to get a subservient woman. Rachel, what do you have to say about that?
I think that you are controlling, bossy, and misogynist. I think that there's a myriad of problems going on.
Okay. Alvin, what do you have to say about this?
Okay.
One of the biggest reasons she's with you is she probably wanted to come over to this country.
She did.
You brought her over here, and you're not even treating her right, by her words.
So you think that I'm just an evil person, and so does your comparator.
I didn't say that.
You want me to say some of that fancy psychological stuff or give you some voodoo magic? Here it is.
All right.
You can be very loud, and you can be very overbearing.
Okay.
True?
True.
If you really sincerely want some input, my input for you is this. Okay. I think that you are very stereotypical. You have written off a large group of women as being flawed in terms of being materialistic and pampered and whiny. These are your words, not mine.
Yes, sir.
And as a result, I think that suggests to me that that you might have a bit of a misogynistic attitude towards women, and that can get you in trouble with a woman. I've been married 34 years, and I can tell you women are very sensitive to the way they're treated and interacted with. I also know that you're very outgoing, and that you've had 2 marriages that have not worked. You describe yourself as a 2-time loser. That's your words, not mine.
It's true.
And what I'm telling you is I think you need to be hypersensitive about being empathic in her behalf. In a situation like this, it's endemic upon you to bend over backwards to put yourself in her shoes and say, how can I make this ride more comfortable for her? This is the mother of your child. This is a woman that you love and loves you. So you should wake up every day and say, what can I do today to make her life better here, so she finds out that she's won the lottery over here, that this isn't your 3rd failure, that instead you just bend over backwards to help her.
Is this concurrent with the golden rule, or am I missing it?
I think you can certainly say it's in parallel to the golden rule. I think there are some unique challenges here because there is a language barrier here, and we say it like she has a language barrier. We have a language barrier. She's fine with her language. It's just that we need to be sensitive to that. It'd be very frustrating not to be able to find the words to say everything you want to say. And because there's an imbalance of power, you need to be hypersensitive, hyper-vigilant, that you don't even unintentionally exploit that.
I'm going to work my darndest to not be the person that they think I am.
Well,
that's sincere from my heart.
Yeah, no, I believe you, and I hope you're hearing what I'm saying.
I do.
In this situation, you should be hyper-vigilant to be sensitive to her feelings.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
All right, we'll think about that. All right, we're going to keep talking about this. I'm going to let David chime in because he's got some experience here for some guys that don't have this experience yet. My next guests are both single men who have spent thousands of dollars looking for a mail-order bride. We're going to find out why their family and friends say they have gotten taken for a ride. We'll be right back.
I feel in a way I was forced to look outside this country, which I did. So I went to Russia and Ukraine 3 times.
And you almost got killed.
Twice.
You are watching Daytime's #1 talk show.
All right, Bill and Wayne both insist they can only find love overseas with a mail-order bride.
You say the word mail-order bride. You know, let's say something for the record. I don't pick one out of a catalog and she shows up at my door. When I went to aforeignaffair.com, when I originally met my first wife there, I looked at hundreds or maybe thousands of pictures of different women, just like I would on Match.com or Yahoo or any of the other ones.
In fact, let's take a look at this. Now, Wayne spared no expense when it came to finding his bride. Now, his friend Kevin says that Wayne is just lonely and uses money to get these women here. Let's take a look at this, then we'll talk.
Wayne doesn't feel confident and he has no self-esteem, so it's easier for him to go overseas where the women want to come to the U.S. and they're willing to do just about anything to get here.
I met my ex-wife through aforeignaffair.com. I looked through like thousands of pictures and something just kind of chose me to her, and eventually I went over to meet her and I ended up marrying her.
When he married Larissa, I felt kind of shocked and asked him what he was doing. He told me he was love, and I told him he didn't know what love was.
My wife got here. After a few weeks, she became very ill, and she kept getting sicker and sicker as time wore on, and it turned out she ended up having cystic fibrosis. She ended up having a double lung transplant. A few weeks after she got home from her transplant, her mother handed me divorce papers. She said that she had, thought we couldn't be a family and everything like that, and wanted a divorce. At that point, I felt used.
When the marriage ended, he was very upset and, he was very hard on himself.
After my divorce, I tried again. This is my fiancée, Antonina Abramova. I found a wonderful woman, and we've been together almost a year now. My new fiancée is from Nikolaev, Ukraine. We are very much looking forward to her coming to the United States and spending the rest of our lives together.
My biggest fear is that they're using him as a pawn, and once they get over here to the States and they get their citizenship going, they're going to leave him like the last 2 girls did.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second, but that's kind of what Kevin is saying. We'll talk to Kevin here in a second, but what Kevin is saying is kind of what happened with your last wife, right? I mean,
true.
You right? Go through all of this money and support. You flew her mother here twice to take care of her. She had these lung transplants. You sold your boat, your house, your car to pay $100,000 in medical bills. And she gets out of the hospital and 3 weeks later hands you divorce papers.
That's true. And, you know, I was very bitter.
Let me add to this conversation here. Bill says that Russian and Ukrainian women are better than American women. But his daughter Alicia says her dad is just living a fairy tale. Let's look at this, and then we'll just talk about all this.
My dad wants to marry and have babies with a Russian woman.
Russian women are more beautiful. They are educated. They are more family-oriented. They take better care of themselves. My former American wife doubled her weight to over 200 pounds, and it ruined the marriage.
My dad wants a beautiful, young, blonde woman who treats him like a king. And
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up, I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. The pain makes it real, I don't wanna feel, I just wanna kill the bad thoughts and steal a good thought and feel. I'm just lost to feel, I'm just lost to feel. I need time to heal, I can't steer the wheel, cause this drive to kill, and it gives me chills. A nice road to feel, I slip off the peel and crash all the steel. Will I ever heal? I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
feeds his ego.
I am attracted to beautiful women. Why not? I'm a man.
My dad thinks that he can't find a quality woman in America.
American women are not interested in marrying. They're content to live alone and have their independent life. On the internet, you can meet tens of thousands of suitable partners. I'm on more than one website, 8 to 12 of them.
It's just obsessive.
I've spent on the internet and my trips to Russia over $50,000.
My dad is attracting these women who are gold diggers, who just want money from him.
My purpose is not about sex. It's about love, soulmate, marriage, a partner for life.
This is not the way to find that happiness.
Okay, one of the things that fascinates me is that you and David all have this attitude that American women are just to be swept off the deck because they're inferior in some way. You say American women, they're not the same, that they're flawed in some way.
A lot of men my age have this problem of making a connection with American women. They've been burned, they've been hurt, they have animosity in many cases. And so I feel, in a way, I was forced to look outside this country, which I did. And I also went on the internet because I lost my wife because she found a man on the internet. So I went to Russia and Ukraine 3 times.
And you almost got killed.
Twice.
Twice. All right, we're going to hear about all of that next. When Bill went overseas 3 different times in hope of finding his bride, instead, he found himself tied up and held at gunpoint. We'll be right back.
I was hit in the jaw by a drunk man and robbed. He took the last $2,000 out of my wallet.
He was held at gunpoint. He's been kidnapped.
They took me against my will. One of them put a gun to my head, and he clicked.
I have a fear of Bill going over to Russia. Some men were after him, and one of them hit him in the jaw, right on the street. He could be killed. It's just a very dangerous place.
So that was Bill's mom talking about her concerns about Bill going abroad. She obviously is worried about her son. Now, Bill has been kidnapped and mugged while looking for love in Russia and the Ukraine. Now, Alicia says that her greatest fear is that he's going to end up dead and nobody will even know. Take a look.
In Ukraine, I experienced violence.
He was attacked.
I was hit in the jaw by a drunk man and robbed. He took the last $2,000 out of my wallet.
He was held at gunpoint. He's been kidnapped.
They took me against my will. One of them put a gun to my head, and he clicked, and he's laughing. And then they took all the money out of my wallet.
I'm afraid somebody is going to kill him. When my dad comes back from one of these trips to Russia, he feels taken advantage of, but he gets right back on that computer and he keeps trying. My dad likes the danger. When my dad gets something in his mind, like going to Russia and finding a young, beautiful woman, there is no stopping him.
I'm a risk taker. That is how I am. I take chances.
Well, Bill's daughter Alicia says that her father is living in a fairy tale and being used by these gold diggers overseas. What do you mean? You think they're just trying to get a free ticket to America and get taken care of?
I think so. I think they're looking for a better life, and they feel that he can provide that for them.
Yeah, while I say, I think it's wrong to stereotype American women, I think it's just as inaccurate to stereotype these women over there.
But, she's saying that they want a better life. Well, you know what? I live in Southern California, and the women here, and I'm sorry, it's the truth, they're phony. Phony boobs, phony nails, phony they got Botox. They got to show everything they want, right? They want a better life, too. I have a philosophy about dating in California. When a guy goes out with a girl thinks all the guy wants is the and the guy thinks all the girl wants is my money.
People do things for a reason. And look, I think I have a very realistic self-image, okay? I'm 60, I'm bald, I'm a grandfather, And if there is some Eastern European girl that is 20-something and looks like this picture we just saw, I guess it was your girlfriend,
Fiance,
your
yes.
fiance,
Yes.
that we were looking up here, that's just dying to be with me.
I'm fat. I've seen myself naked. I don't like what I see. Okay, so I guarantee you, a woman, in the United States is going to look and say, they're not going to say, oh gosh, wow, you look so handsome. But you know what? They would say it in your case, because you know what? Dr. Phil, he's a celebrity. He's got money. And they would go that route. And don't...
Exactly my point.
But wait a minute. This woman and I have been corresponding since April of last year. She's never asked me for anything. Zero.
I'm not
That's
talking
the
about
difference.
you. I'm talking about me. And I have a beautiful wife. No, but I mean...
Thank you.
But I'm serious. I'm serious.
I thought you forgot.
What?
I thought you forgot there for a second.
No. I have a beautiful wife, but we're 3 years apart in age. I'm just saying, somebody that's 20 years old, what do they want with a 60-year-old
she's
man?
30. She's 36. Okay.
Well,
so,
you don't.
But you know what?
You don't know how old she is.
I've actually met her, and I do know how old she is. But you know what? This young blonde over here, if I would have go to approach her, I guarantee you she wouldn't even give me the time of day. I'm not her type. I'm not this. I'm not that.
Well, why is this girl?
Because you know what? In the Ukraine, fact, most of the men there are alcoholics. Fact, most of the men could care less about family.
How old are you?
Well, I tell them that I'm 56.
Yeah. And you're not?
No, I'm about your age.
Yeah. Okay, do you worry that someone why someone that would be a third your age, that could be your daughter, would choose to be with you other than for an ulterior motive?
Well, the two women that I'm interested in marrying both live in Russia. They're both 38 years of age. They don't want to come to America. They don't want U.S. citizenship. They don't need my money, not that I have much money. And
not now.
One woman...
Well, you lost.
Yeah, I lost almost $50,000 in like 5 years. But these women... one of them makes $150,000 a year. Masha, she puts on parties for Putin, okay? And she's also head of PR with the largest construction company in Russia. The other girl is a lawyer and an accountant, and she makes $2,500 a month. So they don't need my money, and they have never, in over a year, asked me for money.
How do you know all that's true?
One is represented by an agency.
These beautiful, intelligent, professional women can't find somebody out of 175
like
million
he said,
people?
I lived there for 8 months, not like him. 8 months. I found a woman I loved and wanted to be with. I wasn't coming back to America, but here I am.
All right, well, we have to take a break here. I find this fascinating, and I want y'all to get your side of this, because I think you're informing us on a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
It's good. All right, my next guest, Luda, gave up a successful life in Russia to be with the man of her dreams. But her fairy tale wedding turned into a living nightmare. We'll hear what she has to say when we come back.
You can't tell me there's chemistry between you.
Well, there
I'm not
absolutely
going
is.
to have it with you. I mean, you look like my former wife. No offense, but...
Well, Luda came here from Russia for love, but says that her husband took total advantage of her. Take a look.
I met my ex-husband online. When I first met him, he was very kind, handsome, unbelievable, wonderful. After we got married, he changed his attitude. When he became angry, he called me names. He told me, get out of my house. In spite of we bought this house together, he said that I can do whatever I want for you. I am powerful, I am American, and who do you think you are? One night, he turned off heater in the house, and it was about 20 degrees. When I asked him why doing this, he asked that I pay for heater. So I gave him money, and then he turned on heater. I felt very helpless. He said, I cannot tolerate women more than 2 years. I am his 4th wife. Right now he lives with my best girlfriend. He left me for her. It was humiliation. I made a mistake when I got married to him.
Well, Luda, thanks for being here. So you're obviously still living and working here?
Yes.
Are you glad you're here, or do you wish you were back?
My son here with me, he's 19 years old. When we came here, he was 14 years old. He's in a college now. And so I cannot play his life. I have to stay here. I have to support him. So I'm trying to survive here by myself.
Are these guys headed in the right direction? Are their motives right? Will this work out for them?
It's a very bad idea to get married to a Russian woman before you live with her, before you know, and you have to know a reason why. If you fall in love, if it's real love, of course it's reason to get married and to be together.
Kevin, are you concerned that Wayne's headed for cruising for a bruising?
Yeah, he's going in the same direction he did last time. I mean, the girl is beautiful, and after she gets over here a couple years, she's going to leave him, and it'll be divorce number 3. I mean, I love him to death, and I don't want him to get hurt, but he's going to get hurt. I'd rather see him spend that money on himself to better himself with fitness and health so that he can attract a beautiful woman in the U.S., because there are a ton of beautiful women in the U.S.
Are they going about the wrong way? What's not going to happen, dude?
I don't think that any money in the world is going to allow either of these two gentlemen to marry a woman half their age or even maybe close to their same age. And one of the reasons, I think, is this cultural difference that nobody's really touched on yet. There's a huge cultural difference between American women and foreign women.
The one thing that people are forgetting about these mail-order brides, how many people in this audience would leave all their friends, leave all their family, go to a country that they is not a native language to, just to be with somebody on the hopes of a better life? One lady, okay? You know, very few people would.
People are people. I don't care where they are on this planet, Dr. Phil. The Russian women have the same desires and wants as American women. They love family. You know, they might be closer in Russia to family, because my experience was with the 3 women and the 3 trips I made over there, every day they talk to their children and their parents. They're constantly in touch. We don't have that in America, certainly not in my family.
That's part of the cultural difference,
But
don't you agree?
wrong. But they can bring that culture here and help us learn to be more loving and closer to our children.
We have it here. We're the melting pot. I mean, you know what? There's Russian communities here. There's Asian communities here. There's Hispanic communities here. I mean, I don't have to go to Russia to find a Russian woman. There's Russian communities right here in Los Angeles I can go to if that's what I really wanted.
Why don't you?
Well, because you know what, Dr. Phil, I'll give you the great example. When everybody, as soon as I posted a picture of my fiance, everybody thinking, yeah, she's going to be with him. That's the mentality of the United States. Oh, she's way too beautiful for him. You know, that he's out of the quote, out of her league.
Well, you can't tell me there's chemistry between you.
Well, they're
He's not
absolutely
going to have it with you. I mean, you look like my former wife. No offense, but
if you're looking at a guy, I'm fat and ugly and bald. If your former wife looks anything like me, buddy, you need to go to another country. Because I'm definitely 100% male. 100%. So if your wife looks like me, you're in the wrong place, buddy.
My former wife,
we're in the right city. Hollywood is good for that kind of stuff. But I'm not your type, bud.
My former wife, when my former wife left me, we were together 31 years. As soon as she left me, she lost the weight. And she got all kinds of men.
She lost her hair too, like me?
My complaint was, why didn't she lose it when she was with me? Because the chemistry disappeared in the first year.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to John and Tanya. They say you can find love overseas because they met 14 years ago at a social hosted by John's company, A Foreign Affair. They're still together today. We'll be right back. I think when you go to the international dating sites, I think there is more of a meeting of the minds about what they're looking for. Now, the co-founder of the Phoenix-based Foreign Affair, John Adams, and his wife Tanya, met at one of his company socials. Now, he says the stigma associated with international dating is just really born out of ignorance. And I'm going to turn myself in on this because I'm not versed in this What is it we're so ignorant about?
I've been doing this for 16 years, and I was lucky enough to meet Tanya 14 years ago at one of our socials. And I've dealt with thousands and thousands of our clients, and you know, it's just another option. I mean, there's nothing wrong with American women. When people throw out that term mail-order brides, it's really quite offensive. I know it's offensive to my wife because, you know, we met, and it was a strong chemistry, and it took us a year and a half to get married after we met. I think a lot of people think that guys just go over and meet, and they bring her back in a suitcase. It's not like that.
We didn't write each other at all, and nothing, no mail, no internet involved. We actually met. And then we started to correspond.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted y'all here, so you can tell the other side of this story. But now, Wayne was one of your clients, right? And ran up $100,000 in medical bills and then left him 30 days later. Yeah. He was one of your clients.
Extremely unfortunate, but you know, Dr. Phil, that happens. I mean,
there's good Americans, there's good Chinese, there's good. There's good in every single country. And there's bad in every single country.
There was so much pressure with you with that relationship, with everything that she was going through. I mean, it was amazing that it went the way it did. Actually,
I didn't want to let her die.
He actually, I have to hand it to him. He stuck with her and he helped her get through all that, so she could have those operations, do everything. And I have a lot of respect for him for doing that. But Dr. Phil, for every client up here that's talking about the problems and the terrible, you know, problems that you have,
very sorry.
There are hundreds and hundreds of clients that are having wonderful lives and living really well. I just don't want people to hold couples that meet internationally to a higher standard than the domestic couples. We're going halfway around the world to find that right person that we can build a happy family with.
And they do have chance, because there are so many really sincere, wonderful, wonderful women in Russia, Ukraine, China, everywhere, who really want to find somebody to build family with. These guys just need to be smarter.
I had called a foreign affair to send flowers because the girl that I've been corresponding with was in the hospital. By some freak of nature, John answers the phone. And he says, you know, oh, by the way, you know, we're going to her country in 3 weeks. And I says, well, I'm going to Hawaii. He says, who are you going with? I says, nobody. He says, well, how much are you going to spend? And I says, about $9,000 for 2 weeks. He says, have you ever been to Europe? And I said, no. He says, so let me make sure I understand something. You would rather go to Hawaii by yourself and spend 3 times more money than having a chance at meeting the possible woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with. At that point, I said, I don't have a passport, but I'm getting one tomorrow. Book me on your tour. I actually went on that tour, and John was adamant. Go talk to as many women as you want. There were a lot of women I actually connected with, but I chose not to pursue at that point.
You did mistake because you tried to save somebody else's life.
And whether it was right or wrong, I made some choices. But you know what? The bottom line is, I saved a woman's life. If she breathes today because I didn't send her back to her country, because she would be dead right now. That's a fact. It's a medical fact. And, you know, maybe the next time I'll find somebody that absolutely loves me like Antonina does.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. I really appreciate y'all giving us your point of views on this. I think it's going to stimulate a lot of conversation, and I think people maybe are going to change their view about some of this based on everything that everybody said. I wish you guys the best. I hope you stay safe and don't go over there and get yourself killed. That's no good for anybody, right? And I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to John and Tanya from A Foreign Affair. Thanks for being here. So long.